You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button.
Calls for the snap, a little high but handled. Right up the middle, he will run. He will have the first down and then some. Inside the 25, heads towards the numbers at the 10, the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers.
Chris Blair on the call, LSU Sports Radio Network. What a moment that was. The Jayden Daniels 35-yard touchdown run gave LSU, after the two-point conversion, a 35-32 lead. As you saw, 5 second-half lead changes, and that would be the one that would give LSU the lead for good. No, forgive me. Missouri would come back, take a 39-35 lead, and then it was the Malik Neighbors touchdown from Jayden Daniels that would give LSU the lead for good, 42-39. They would tack on the pick six from Major Burns. But Jayden Daniels continues to be one of the biggest stories in college football this year. We're all very biased here. We love LSU, and we want to see Jayden be up for all the awards, and it's disappointing that with 2 losses, it's unlikely that he finds himself back in the mix for legitimately to win the Heisman Trophy. I guess, he could go to Tuscaloosa and account for 500 yards of offense, and LSU could win that game, and then he firmly plants himself there and has a great November, and maybe you go to Atlanta, win the SEC championship game, and he thrusts himself at the top of people's ballots. I don't know that I necessarily believe that's going to happen. I think LSU, with a lot of their shortcomings, probably still has at least another loss, if not 2, ahead of them. And if that's the case, it's just hard to imagine a 3 or 4 loss quarterback winning the Heisman Trophy. But it's not just a commentary here among LSU fans or media. Clint Brewster, who's a national talent evaluator for 24/7 Sports, ranked his top 10 quarterbacks in college football after week 6. And he has Jayden Daniels in the number 1 spot, ahead of Caleb Williams at 2, Bo Nix at 3, Michael Penix 4, Drake May, Shadur Sanders, Carson Beck, Dylan Gabriel, Jordan Travis 9, and then Quinn Ewers 10. That's a hell of a list. And look, Caleb Williams is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. Michael Penix is racing up draft boards. Jordan Travis is a guy many feel is going to be a first-round draft pick this year. Quinn Ewers is going to have that decision to make, and likely is going to be a first-round pick as well. But Jayden Daniels is a guy who didn't like the feedback he got from the NFL Draft Review Board a year ago, where he was told he'd be very likely an early day 3 pick. And if you're talking rounds, around 4 or 5 or so, Jayden decided to come back and see what he could make of this year. And so far, it's been incredibly impressive. Almost, and an almost unfathomable leap from a year ago where he was so good. And it's a point that I've continued to make. While there was criticism of Jayden Daniels last year, I pointed out so many times how I thought it was unfounded, because you aren't a 10-win team a year ago without Jayden Daniels. Was he perfect? No. Was he a top 10 pick or a Heisman Trophy candidate last year? Not at all. But he accounted for nearly 70% of your offense. He protected the football. Through the first 8 weeks, when your offensive line was atrocious, he made plays with his feet. You were what you were offensively. Remember, Josh Williams was your best running back. And no disrespect to Josh, but he's a former walk-on. Just look at the contrast between Josh Williams and Logan Diggs right now. Josh Williams was a good player for you last year. Look at what Logan Diggs has given you as a running back. You didn't have that a year ago. Mason Taylor was a true freshman. Kayshon Boutte was a shell of what he was. You won 10 games, won the West, beat Bama because Jayden Daniels threw for nearly 3,000 yards and ran for nearly 1,000. It was he was a great college football player for you a year ago, for you. But now he's just become undeniably a great college football player, an elite college football player that is garnering conversation among the best quarterbacks in all of college football. RG3, who's had the LSU games the last 2 weeks on the call, and he's taken a lot of criticism from LSU fans, I understand, and he's green as a broadcaster. But he also won a Heisman Trophy as the quarterback of a 3-loss team where every week, and they talked about it on the broadcast, where every week he knew because their defense at Baylor was so bad, they had to go out and they had to outscore every single week, and he had to deliver. And they went 9-3. And RG3 on Saturday night, or Saturday after the game, posted on Twitter, LSU has 2 losses, but Jayden Daniels should be in everyone's Heisman top 5 list. I said what I said. This is a guy who played the position, who played in an offense in a situation similar to what Jayden Daniels is doing right now, a guy who won the Heisman Trophy as a 3-loss team, became a first-round draft pick, NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year that year as well. But that's a guy who in that conversation has a tremendous amount of credibility, and it's good to hear him say it, and more people need to say it. Listen, you're at the halfway point of the season. We all saw in 2015 with Leonard Fournette the perils of starting to engrave a name in the Heisman Trophy before you get through November, right? So there's a long way to go and plenty of opportunities. But at the halfway point of the season, I don't believe there's been a better quarterback in college football than Jayden Daniels. It's just incredible. He has it all. He's got the offensive statistics, the passing statistics, the turnovers, the low, the touchdown, the scoring, the rushing. It's all there, as good or better than anyone else in college football. And Brian Kelly, was asked, how Jayden Daniels from last year to this year has taken that step from being a good quarterback to a great quarterback.
It's our job as coaches to present the information in terms of what they need to do, players, to progress. And then players need to fix it. And I think, with Jayden, he fixed a lot of these things. He was not progressing, through his reads. He was coming off them too soon. He wasn't staying in the pocket. He wasn't being patient. He was doing some of the things that get you 80 yards throwing it. And so he's fixed a lot of those things and has put him in a position now where, he's one of the top, if not the top quarterback production-wise in the country. So I think we gave him a good plan. I think Joe Sloan's done a great job. Mike's done a great job of putting him in a really good position. And then I think he's gone out and he's made the adjustments and made the improvements.
Hugh Freeze was meeting with the media on Monday. Of course, the Auburn head coach, and the challenge this week of stopping Jayden Daniels in the LSU offense. And I saw Barrett Sallee has the text of this. Maybe we can see if we can find that audio from Hugh of this quote. But this is what Hugh Freeze told reporters on Monday when asked about Jayden Daniels. He said, quote, "I don't want to talk about game plans, but I don't think you can stop him. There are just too many weapons around him, and he's too good. The key to this game is, can we hold them to field goals?" Truthfully, nobody has stopped him. He plays so effortlessly, literally runs 40-yard touchdowns, and it looks like he's jogging, and yet no one is catching him. His balls are so accurate to those talented receivers. I just think it's a hard task. To this point, and I haven't watched future opponents, so nobody used it for a bulletin board material, but to this point, it's the best offensive personnel I've seen in this league to this point. Hugh Freeze, a guy who knows a lot about offense, and he's not wrong. LSU has been the best offense in the Southeastern Conference and is right there with Washington and Southern Cal as the best offenses in all of college football. Big task this week. Do it again with Auburn coming into Baton Rouge. And if you get this win against Auburn, you said you get a relative breather against Army. Army's a very different looking team this year as opposed to the triple option offense that they have been in years past. But you take care of the next 2 home games, you get a bye, and you go to Alabama with essentially everything to play for in Tuscaloosa. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.